Spiritual growth is a journey. It is a path leading inward. We move away from the constant noise of the mind. We travel towards a quiet, still space within. This journey is not always an easy one. It asks us to look deeply at ourselves. It invites us to discover what is truly real. The ego, the false self, often resists this profound call. It clings to thoughts and forms. Ego death can sound alarming to the thinking mind. The mind fears its own end, its own dissolution. Yet it is not the death of you, the essential being. It is the death of an illusion. The illusion of a separate, isolated self. This false self is defined by past experiences and future worries. It is built upon layers of fear and insatiable desire. When this constructed self begins to dissolve, a vast space opens up. This space is your true nature, beyond all labels. The first glimpses of this deeper reality are like awakenings. Suddenly the world may appear new. Colors might seem more vibrant, sounds more distinct. A profound sense of peace can wash over you. This peace does not depend on external conditions. It arises spontaneously from the depths of your being. It is a taste of your formless nature, a brief look beyond the ego's heavy curtain. These are moments of pure grace. With this emerging connection, a deep gratitude often arises. Gratitude for the simple miracle of existence. Gratitude for the preciousness of the present moment. A palpable connection to the divine, to life itself, begins to form. You feel an intrinsic part of something immense, something that is timeless and sacred. This is not merely an intellectual concept, it is a knowing that resonates deep within the heart. The ego's small concerns start to lose their power. The ego often uses fear as its primary fuel. Fear of not possessing enough. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of failure in the eyes of the world. Fear of harsh judgment from others. This pervasive fear creates a state of constant, restless striving. It is an anxious energy that propels us forward. We chase external goals, fleeting achievements, and material possessions. We mistakenly believe these will bring lasting happiness. We think they will make us feel truly secure. As your spiritual awareness continues to deepen, fears start to loosen their tight grip. The situations and thoughts that once seemed terrifying begin to appear less substantial. You start to recognize them as mere mental formations, not absolute realities. The ego's dramatic stories of impending danger and persistent lack become transparent. This growing disconnection from fear is profoundly liberating. It brings with it a sense of lightness, a freedom from the chronic anxiety that may have once defined your days. When fear is no longer the dominant force in your life, a peculiar state can emerge. A sense of unmotivation may settle in. The old ambitions and goals lose their magnetic appeal. The strong drive to achieve and accumulate diminishes significantly. What once seemed vitally important can now feel strangely empty or irrelevant. This can be a disorienting and confusing period. You might question what is happening to you. You might feel adrift, without clear direction or purpose. This experience of unmotivation is not a sign of spiritual regression. It is, more often than not, a natural and necessary part of the growth process. The ego's usual fuel supply, fear and desire, has been significantly reduced. The old, conditioned ways of operating in the world no longer function effectively. An empty space, a void, appears. This void can feel uncomfortable at first. The mind may try to hastily fill it with new distractions, but this void is also a precious opportunity. This phase of apparent unmotivation is usually a transitional one. It is a bridge. You are moving from an old way of being to a new one. From action driven by the ego's demands to action inspired by presence. It is crucial not to resist this state. Do not judge yourself for feeling unmotivated or listless. Simply allow the stillness, the emptiness to be. This requires a profound act of letting go. It takes courage to remain present with the void. Acceptance is the key to navigating this period with grace. Accept the feeling of not knowing what comes next. Accept the temporary absence of the old familiar drive. Surrender fully to the present moment, whatever it may contain. This acceptance is not a passive resignation to fate. It is an active, conscious allowing. It creates the fertile space for true guidance to emerge from within. When you cease to struggle against the void, you can begin to hear its subtle wisdom. Meditation becomes an invaluable practice during this time. It is the art of simply being, of observing thoughts as they arise and pass without judgment, of connecting deeply with the underlying stillness within you. In meditation, you are not attempting to achieve any specific goal. You are simply resting in pure awareness. This practice helps you become more comfortable with the absence of egoic striving. It anchors you firmly in the now. it strengthens your connection to being. Inspiration may then begin to flow in a new way. It will no longer be forced by fear or worldly ambition. It will arise from a much deeper, quieter source. From your connection to life itself, to universal intelligence, it might manifest as a sudden, clear insight, a gentle, quiet urge to act, an effortless, harmonious flow of creative energy. This kind of inspiration is not manufactured. It feels natural, authentic, and often joyful. Trust these quiet promptings. Living from the space of spiritual truth brings rewards beyond measure. There is a profound and unshakable sense of peace, a quiet, gentle joy that is not dependent on external circumstances. Life ceases to be a relentless series of problems to be solved. It becomes an unfolding adventure to be lived with open awareness. You experience a deep, intrinsic connection to all things, to all beings. A comforting sense of oneness pervades your experience. The ego's endless struggles seem distant. Contrast this with a life predominantly driven by the ego. That life is frequently filled with underlying stress. It is marked by inner conflict and a persistent sense of dissatisfaction. The ego is, by its very nature, never truly content. It always craves more of something. It constantly feels threatened by imagined losses or perceived attacks. It dwells in past regrets or future anxieties, rarely touching the present. This way of living creates immense unnecessary suffering for yourself and others. It is vital to acknowledge your spiritual existence. You are not merely a physical body and a thinking mind, you are the awareness that witnesses both. You are the presence that is the source of all true peace. This knowing is not a philosophical belief system, it is a direct, lived experience. Embrace this deeper, more authentic identity. Allow it to inform your actions and choices. Let it guide your interactions with the world. When you live from this truth, your life naturally transforms. The ultimate reward of this journey is the profound peace of presence. It is the simple, unadulterated joy of simply being. When the ego's dominance fades, when it is seen through, life is no longer a heavy burden, it becomes a light, effortless dance. Motivation then arises not from fear or lack, but from love, from a deep, intuitive inner knowing. This is the often unseen side of genuine spiritual growth, a passage through the void into a life of true meaning and fulfillment.